Good morning, everybody. It's really great to see you. Welcome to CoMotion LA 2024. It's wonderful to see so many friends and partners from around our great country, from Mexico, from Canada, and particularly this year from Europe. It's great to welcome delegations of innovative mobility companies and policymakers from Great Britain, from France, from Finland, from Spain, from the Netherlands. Welcome, all of you, to the City of the Angels. I also want to thank Andrew Glass Hastings, I don't know if he's in the room, and our friends and partners at the Open Mobility Foundation. Their summit yesterday was terrific, excellent. Their work they're doing in the digital trenches of our cities is so important. I also want to welcome friends and partners from other like-minded groups who've come to Los Angeles this week, from like Germany's Green Tech Festival, who are meeting up here on Friday, as well as our friends from ITS America, who are co-hosting the traditional CoMotion Bash this evening, and I hope you all attend. Now, more than ever, it's vitally important that we work together. All of us who deeply believe in a better urban future in which our air and water and soil are clean because transportation has finally been decarbonized, in which people and goods can move around efficiently and as seamlessly as possible, in which mobility and transportation are become a vector of equalizing opportunity instead of creating and reinforcing divisions among us. Now is, I think, when we must stick together to continue our efforts for that better future. And this is not an industry in retreat. I think we can't forget that. On the contrary, the pace of innovation that we see is as important as ever. The rollout of autonomous mobility options, we see a wonderful Waymo Jaguar outside here, advanced air mobility, new and smart ways to realize the promise of hydrogen and other clean energies, the digital transformation of the built environment. All of this will continue, don't doubt it. And one thing I'm very sure of, and that is that Los Angeles and Southern California will continue to be the epicenter of the mobility revolution, even as the political landscape in Washington changes. The FIFA World Cup in 2026, the Super Bowl in 2027, and of course, the 2028 Olympics and Paralympic Games really are a unique, once-in-a-generation opportunity for this region and city. And that's all the more reason to put the pedal to the metal. I can confidently predict that when we meet up next year, we'll be stronger and more determined and more numerous than ever. And now it's my pleasure to introduce my friend Ray Sosa, the Chief Planning Officer of LA Metro. Metro, as all of you are aware, is truly at the center of the vast transformation of Los Angeles. Welcome, Ray. Thank you.
All right, I have an 80-slide presentation. I'd like to talk about all that LA is doing. Thank you for having me. Good morning. We have just over 40 months until July 2028, when LA will officially open the Olympic and Paralympic Games. This is a massive opportunity for Southern California, not only because all of the visitors that will come to the region, but it's our opportunity to show the world what the transit system and the transportation system in Los Angeles is capable of. These are LA's games, but they're America's games. And we want to ensure we put our best foot forward to bring people together as we welcome the world. First, a little bit about Metro. We're the planner, owner, and operator of the nation's second busiest transit system, with more than 110 miles of rail on 6 lines, 120 bus routes spanning an area the size of Rhode Island. We carry 1 million average weekday boardings. And we have the nation's largest capital program, about $26 billion, that will expand our rail and bus transit system significantly in the coming decades. We want nothing short of being LA County's first choice for transportation, a tall order in a car-loving region. The 2028 Games are a tremendous opportunity for us to show everyone that is not only possible, but easy and comfortable to take transit in LA County. The 2028 Olympic and Paralympic Games will be the biggest ever, with 15 million tickets compared to 9.5 million in Paris. Over 80 different competition, training, accommodation, and other venues. We're estimating over 1 million spectator trips each day, equivalent to hosting 7 Super Bowls per day during the Olympics and 2 Super Bowls per day during the Paralympics. The geography of the 2028 Games is similar to the 1984 Games, and I was there at the 1984 Games too, just a little munchkin, but there. There was one big difference. We now have a rail system. In 1984, RTD, the Rapid Transit District, serviced the Games with buses, but we now have close and direct connections to many of these venues through the rail system. And over the next 3.5 years, we'll be completing and opening critical connections: the airport connector, the D-line extensions, 3 phases that will take us to the Olympic Village in Westwood, and the extension of the A-line to Pomona. And then over the last couple of years, we just opened up the regional connector, which is the downtown segment connecting the A-line and the E-line, as well as the K-line that extends from the Expo line to the airport. But we need to do so much more than rely on our existing system, and that's why we've developed a mobility concept plan for the Games to make additional improvements that will service the 3 million people who need rides during the Games. And that includes hundreds of thousands of people with disability, people who don't necessarily speak English, and people who are totally unfamiliar with our system. We've been working hard for years to make these concepts a reality. So what will we be doing to enhance our operations? A lot. From a Games route network to a supplemental bus system, improvements to our bus operations, rail operations, stations, payment systems, first last mile upgrades. I'm not going to get into every one of these, but here are some of the highlights. First, let's talk about the Games route network. This is something we did in 1984, dedicated lanes for Olympic vehicles so they can avoid traffic. This network will be temporary, but important. In addition to the Games route network, we're already implementing an expansion of permanent bus priority lane network on key corridors. There will be more than 100 miles of these priority lanes, which speed up our buses on key corridors and make them more reliable. Then there's the Games Enhanced Transit System, or GETS, so spectators can get to the Games. And this is really important because there will be little or no car parking available at the game venues for security reasons. We estimate we'll need about 2,700 additional buses for the Games, more than doubling the size of our fleet for 80 days. We plan on borrowing these buses from agencies like we did in 1984. That means we'll also need extra bus operators, mechanics, service attendants, and we'll need to plan all that service. It's a big undertaking. To get those people to their destinations, we'll set up mobility hubs at key locations. These hubs will cater to Games, spectators, and have amenities that will help make their stay and their transit easy and enjoyable. And we want these hub and fan zones to be reflective of the communities we serve in Los Angeles. So outreach to communities is key. And importantly, we can't forget a crucial part of trips on transit, the first and last mile. People walk on foot or sometimes use a bike or other conveyance to get to our system. So we want to make sure that our streets, our sidewalks provide safe and friendly atmosphere for all the game spectators. These two, we're hoping, will be permanent improvements that will have a big impact on the quality of our transit offerings over the long term. So there are so many more improvements we're doing, all along with the long-term projects we're delivering as part of our long-range transportation plan. We just started construction on the light rail line in the valley, the East San Fernando Valley Light Rail Project. We just approved the Southeast Gateway line through the environmental approvals. We approved the East Side Transit Corridor Phase 2 project, another light rail line. And we hope to be in construction within the next several years. And we're making big strides in some other corridors that we've made a priority on. The Sepulveda Transit Corridor and the K-Line, now K-Line, south to Torrance. With that, we look forward to the future, and it is time to get back to work. Thank you.